So I've come back to Bolton Stadium for this month's Bolton Toy Fair. So let's go inside and see what we can find.
Yeah. It's not what you see very often in power tracks.
No.
I've not seen the one drive.
Now, I've bought some weird and wonderful things in my time, but nothing as weird as this. So, this is an action figure based on a UK TV and radio personality. And if you're not from the UK, take a look at this.
It's wacky, it's fun, it's crazy, it's outrageous!
Funhouse was a children's game show that ran for 10 years from 1989 to 1999. In each episode, two teams representing schools from around the UK went head to head to win a bunch of exciting prizes. Each episode consisted of 3 rounds, messy games, go-karts, and finally the Funhouse. It was hosted by Pat Sharp, and he was assisted by cheerleader twins Melanie and Martina.
Welcome to the weekend. It all starts here on the Funhouse, and I'm Pat Sharp, and I'm going to make your house such a fun house. We got crazy contests, we got goofy games, and we've also got all the fun you'll ever need.
Yep, you've guessed it. I bought an action figure of Pat Sharp, complete with 80s mullet, and it is fully endorsed by Pat Sharp himself. I never thought they would release an action figure of Pat Sharp, let alone did I ever think I would want to own one. But I've simply bought it just for the novelty factor. Now, these are made by my friend Nick's company, Neymar Studios, so he does figures based on classic TV and film characters that weren't actually made into action figures back in the day. So he's done things like Gilbert the Alien, Grotbags the Witch from the Rod Hull and Emu shows, and the evil mascot Astra from Space Raiders, as well as the scary Fiendish Feet yogurt pots from the 80s. And he's also done things like Batfink, the Kenneth Johnson miniseries V, as well as the 2 Ewok TV movies, Caravan of Courage and Battle for Endor. So go check out his website, neymarstudios.com. Now, we weren't planning on going to this toy fair, but we decided to go around midday anyway. And I'm glad we did, because one of the items I picked up, I've been after for a few months. Now, if you've seen my December Bolton Toy Fair video, you saw me picking up the Ed 209 and the Robocop with chair, which I was a bit underwhelmed with. And I've been after this version for a few months. And the cheapest I saw it on Amazon was about £70, and it was about £65 on eBay. And I got this for the bargain price of £30, and that is NECA's Ultimate Robocop. Now, this is the one that has the metallic paint and the spring-loaded holster, and I much preferred this version over the battle damage version that came with the chair. So I'm going to take this out of the box, and he's going to be stood next to the Ed 209 figure. Now, these next items just go to show that you must always check under the table at car boot sales and toy fairs. And you probably saw me picking these up in the footage. And they are the Tomitronic 3D games. Now, this one is Planet Xeon, and if I can manage to get some footage, you'll be seeing that now. And this one is 3D Stereo Skyfighters. And the reason why it's 3D stereo is because there's 2 speakers on either side there. So not only are you getting 3D images, you're getting stereo sound as well. But it's not the best stereo sound. So yeah, I've never actually owned any of these Tomitronic 3D games before. I just have the Grandstand and Tomy tabletop games. So these were a bargain at £20 each. The guy wanted 25 each. I said, would you take 40? And he obliged. So great price. Now, if these were like boxed, you're looking at like £70–80. And luckily they're both in working condition. I checked the battery compartments, there weren't any corrosion, so I just bit the bullet and bought them, and they work fine. But the guy didn't have any bags, so I just had to put them around my neck for the rest of the toy fair. Now, we were on our way out when we were passing a stall that we'd previously been to, but I didn't really pay much attention to because it was things like scale electrics, model railways, die-cast cars, things I'm not really interested in. But my wife pointed out there was a box of Spectrum games on the table. So I went through those, and most of the games were priced at around £4, regardless of whether they were the big box versions or their budget re-releases. And I got a stack of games, and I'll quickly go through those now. So I got Commando on the Encore label. I got the sequel to The Way of the Tiger, and that is Avenger, in a really nice box. A game I already own on the Spectrum, but I couldn't leave it behind, so I'll probably be giving this away at Play Blackpool, because we always take a box of games to do a little swap meet before the event, and that is Batman the Movie. by Ocean. And the next one is the original release of Buggy Boy, based on the arcade classic. A game I'm not really into because it's an isometric game similar to Head Over Heels and what's the other one? The Great Escape, and that is Movie. Racing game, I don't think I've ever played this one, but I'm sure if you're into F1 you would have heard of this guy, and that is Nigel Mansell Grand Prix. And the next one is a puzzle game I've heard of, but I've never actually played it. It does look very similar to Puzznic, and that is Plotting by Ocean. And it looks like it was originally an arcade game by Taito. And the only reason why I bought this is because it came with a poster. Now I've got this on the Amstrad, but it's missing the poster. It's got everything else, but no poster. And that is Platoon. And the next one is a game I've never played. I've no idea what it's like because there's no screenshots on the back or anywhere unless it's in the instructions. But that is a nice big box version of Jarell's Combat Links. I mean, it's a bit overkill, to be honest with you, because that's all you get inside the box, and then there's a little instruction leaflet. And then I picked up two items. I've never seen these before. I've heard of them, but I've never actually seen them out in the wild. And they are head alignment kits. So if your game's not loading on your Spectrum, you just put this tape in, and it's got like a little screwdriver there. And the best thing about this is there's games on the other side. So this one's got Joe Blade on the flip side of the tape, and this one has got Wheeling Wally on the other side of the tape. So yeah, when I went to Bolton Toy Fair last weekend, I wasn't expecting to come back with a load of Spectrum games, let alone a Pat Sharp figure. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, bye!